Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Marcus, and you're watching me go from zero to hero and I'm Shadow Priest in The War Within Season 2. Now, I actually don't really know what I want to do today. Kind of just want to do more sixes. I want to get some hero gear. I really want to get a different trinket. I'm so tired of doing anything with this entropic skeleton core. But the only trinkets I really give a shit about come from Dark Flame Creft. Why do I keep saying Creft instead of Cleft? Dark Flame Cleft. Okay. Did I just say Dark Flame? Dark Flame Creft. I swear to God, I'm not trolling. Dark Flame Cleft. Why is that so hard to say? Anyway, moving on. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I want to do DFC. Let's just call it DFC for safety purposes. And let's call the Priory just Priory. So those are the two dungeons I want to do. And I want to do them at a 6 so I can get hero gear. And I guess I'll just keep applying to either of those until we do them. I think I did Priory in a different video. So I think we're just going to try and do a DFC on +6 here for this video. What do I even have? I have a Floodgate. Okay, I haven't done Floodgate at all. Maybe I should do Floodgate. Is there a trinket in Floodgate that doesn't suck as much as Skeleton Core? This is a healing trinket. Why is this dropping? Oh, it doesn't drop for Shadow Priest. Never mind. Sorry. Whoops. Well, there's the Gigazap Zap Cap. It's probably better than the Entropic Skeleton. It's probably not better than the Entropic Skeleton Core. It's probably better than the Entropic Skeleton Core for me because I don't pick up the orbs often enough. At least that's what it feels like. So if nothing else, this is a passive damage stat stick. So I kind of like that. So we're gonna go ahead and just do the Floodgate instead of DFC, which I will intentionally call DFC from now on because Lord knows if I don't do that, it's gonna be very interesting because I'm gonna keep mispronouncing it like an idiot. Anyway, I want to get a good foothold on 6s so that I feel very comfortable farming them on stream. Speaking of which, today for the stream we're probably gonna be farming +6 keys for loot. I'm gonna try and get everything cleared on a 6 just for funsies, and then in the next video we'll try to hit 2k so we get our extra, what's it called, catalyst charge, yeah, that thing, and then we can get 4 set because it would be really nice to have a 4 set because I do believe that 4 set is going to make a big difference, and I'm going to want to overlap all my things with PI, which means whatchamacallit, Void Eruption is going to have much more value for me personally because I just kind of suck at overlapping PI with the other thing that is on a lower cooldown. So anyways, we're going to host this Floodgate, and there's going to be a bazillion people applying because everybody wants the trinket from Floodgate. Either that or something else from Floodgate. But I know that there's a lot of people that really like that trinket. Yep, 633 DK, 663 DK, sorry, that has done 10s and stuff. 657. I mean, that's just kind of insane. We're going to go teleport over there while that fills up. And I'm going to do my best not to invite people that are overgeared as hell. And that, my friends, is why I suggest to everyone who's now starting off on the season to just as quickly as possible get their key to a +6 so that they can spam 6s. There's so many more people applying to these. You can actually be a little bit picky and invite people that aren't completely overgeared. I don't know how this person has 658 item level with barely any rating. That's kind of insane. I guess they've been rating a lot. Yeah, they've done Liberation of Undermine 8 out of 8 heroic quite a bit. So there's that. 650, that's the lowest item level tank I've seen so far. So we're going to just invite them. And 649 Shaman looks okay too. Look at these item levels. 662, 663. No way, bro. I'm going to delist and relist and let's find a healer with a nearby, like an item level close to mine. I don't want to just invite a bunch of people that are like 10 item levels, 20 item levels higher than I am. It's just, it'll feel very poopy. 642 Balance Druid, and now we wait for a healer. I said a healer. There we go. 642 healer. How? I guess they've done a 6 Motherlode. See, Rio says that their best clear is a ++2, so that was a little bit confusing. But yeah, let's just grab this gadget healer. There we go. And I'm going to show you, hopefully, that you don't need to invite the most overgeared people just to get things done, right? You can invite people that are close to your item level if you're at an appropriate item level for the difficulty you're doing. Which 6s I think you could do much sooner than 647 item level. I was doing them with like 631 item level on the whatchamacallit, Mistweaver. And I'm not a great Mistweaver, so you could definitely get away with it. But as always, more gear helps. And if you're just trying to get invited instead of hosting your own key, first of all, as a DPS, you're doing it wrong. Second of all, it's going to be really, really hard because you're competing, as you saw, with all those other people that have like 20 item levels on you or whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, double check that it is indeed on Mythic, and it is indeed on Mythic, and let's move on. Alrighty, here we go with a +6 Floodgate. The group You can see in the bottom right corner of the screen, our shaman didn't repair, but hey, that's what you get. We're going to soothe this as best we can. I'm going to keep running this way. We're going to keep going. Blood Angels stopping here and fighting 4 mobs. I kind of brother in Christ, please move on. Okay, holding on. We're doing a little baby pull here. That's all right, I guess. We're gonna do a little baby pull. He's bopping his cooldown. He's moving on. Okay, chaining pulls early on. Love it. Love to see it. Loader bot's kicking my ass. All right, let's just send it. Hold on. That one's just beaming me down, and I'm just dying to it like an idiot. This is not the cleanest start of a pull. We're kind of getting our asses kicked. I'm gonna fear this and fade. Hopefully the DK manages to grab aggro. That was interesting to say the least. A little bit surprised that we were that we were pulling the way we were pulling. So I'm a little bit overwhelmed here and trying to catch up on the DPS, because I kind of didn't DPS for a long time because grouping the groups took forever. I kind of stood in the flamethrower there, but it's not a huge deal. We move out of it to the right. I could have gone to the left, and that was my first instinct, but that was the wrong call. Okay, everything's dead. We managed to get through it. I think we only had 1 death, which was the Balance Druid, and he still did good damage, which is amazing. I could have done much better there, I feel like, but I just got overwhelmed because the pull was taking 2.5 hours to group. So that was interesting. We're going... Okay, DK, you can blood boil. If you press the blood boil button, then the things hit you instead of us, and you don't have to keep running around. I'm rooted. All right, I'm going to look for an interrupt on the Surveyor here. We're also apparently pulling the Divers, so that's something. I'm going to dot up the Divers, and then I'm going to... Well, I guess I can Void Torrent one of them since the Surveyor has been interrupted, and I don't have to worry about him casting again before we move on to the next thing. Let's grab one of the... Never mind. Okay, I got rooted. I wanted to grab one of those. Now I can grab one of those before I start casting again. I can't say I'm a fan of these pulls. They feel a little small. They feel a little small, but hey, you know, whatever. It's not the size of the pull, it's the motion of the ocean or some shit. I don't know, man. Our friend is getting beamed. We interrupt that. Shaman very quick on the interrupt. Love to see it. Let's Void Torrent. I shouldn't have Void Torrented. I have all my cooldowns coming up. Who knows? Maybe this time the DK pulls more than 4 mobs. Okay, we're just chaining small pull into small pull over and over again. So that's a great feeling for a Shadow Priest. Never a good time to use my cooldowns. Okay, we're just going to use my cooldowns on cooldown and hope for the best. He's now running to pull even more and chain even more. I love to see it. That's perfect. Whatever, bro. Someone who's relatively new to tanking, it would seem. I'm just trying to do my damage here. Just trying to do some of my damage here. Really not enjoying these pulls, but hey, you know, sometimes that's as comfortable as the tank is with how he's being. How do I say this? That's as comfortable as the tank is with pulling. So he establishes his aggro, he establishes his stuff, and then he gets ready to move on. I'm gonna just help him out a little bit here, just a little tiny little bit of help. I'm gonna step closer so in case these inspectors decide to jump onto me, they don't jump too far. I'm gonna switch from the inspectors, gonna try and dot up some more, and then go back to like a soldier. I don't know, man. I'm just targeting things that I can target. I want to put down a devouring plague before I use my void torrent on that inspector. That should do a good chunk of damage there. Beautiful. I want to make sure that my thingy thing with the stuffy stuff, my devouring plague is down, because that way I do more damage, right? For each dot that I have active on the enemy, I do more damage. Balance Druid is not dispelling himself for some reason. We're going to do it for them in a second here. There we go. Looks like the healer was also blasting him with heals. All right, we did manage to get most of the drones hit with our thing. We're kind of standing in a weird spot. I'm going to go stand over here. Sonic Bomb is on me. I'm trying not to get hit by it too much. All right, now I feel safe actually sitting here and DPSing. My Void Torrent's never synced up with my other cooldowns, but you know what? Screw it. I don't care. Since we lost at the first pull, we don't have it here. Sorry, if my commentary's a little bit off, it's because I literally woke up like half an hour ago or whatever and just started playing the game. I just PI'd the healer. That's how well I'm playing right now, so you know it's good. Healer's probably confused themselves, like, why the f do I have PI? Alright, we have all of our cooldowns rolling here for the big damage amp phase, so let's send a Void Torrent into that. We're gonna have Halo coming up here in a second. Guess I'll step closer into this. And there's the Halo, there's the Devouring Plague. Okay, now the tank does need to move. He is moving. I don't have to use my, whatchamacallits, my life grip on him. Everything seems to be dotted except for that one somehow. I don't know, man. The shadow crashes have been trolling me lately, it feels like. But I think we're okay. Sonic Boom is going in that direction. The Boomkin's gonna have a hard time. We're gonna give him a shield here. and they managed to get out of trouble. I was about to send the whatchamacallit, about to send a big old life grip their way to make sure that they're okay, but it does look like they're fine on their own. I don't think I've used Shadow Fiend a single time, so maybe I should just press the button now. All right, we're gonna send a Shadow Crash here as soon as we can. I just spent a couple of seconds not casting anything, and the first rule is the ABC of playing any caster is always be casting. All right, that's all of them dead. We have a Void Torrent. Let's send out this. Looks like we've taken care of all of the affix dots, so we have a little bit of extra. Whatever the hell, what does this even give us? Crit chance? Hell yeah, dude. Let's go big crits, big crits. I think the boss is dead here. I'm not even gonna bother Shadow Crashing so that I have it for the next group, which we will be pulling shortly, because we have to grab those bombs that are next to them. And there we go. Beautiful. Give a little bit of a shield to my friend here, kick that, and then wait for those to move in, then Shadow Crash, and now we can start blasting. This is a semi-dangerous thing, so let's just give PI to this buddy here, and let's use our group heal to help our shaman heal all of us. Wait, is the shaman? No, it's the Mistweaver. Never mind. I was like, is the shaman the healer? No, it's not. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so out of whack right now. But we're making it work. I'm doing okay damage. I'm not a bottom feeder, considering everyone in this group has higher item level than me, is the last I checked. Except for maybe the healer. The healer might not have a higher item level than me. Let me actually check again. I'm the highest item level DPS. Okay, that makes it extra fair, right? Now I have no excuse to be doing low DPS. I'm just I'll blame the commentary. There we go. Oh boy. Anyway, moving on. Let's dispel ourselves, move on over here to a safe spot, and blast the bejesus out of these mobs. That's something I can do, is do some damage on this pull, because I got some cooldowns here, and others might not be willing to commit any. It looks like we have a full ranged comp, actually, so this is going to be interesting for the, for the last boss. I think it might be a little bit interesting, and also maybe for the one that charges all around. Okay, we're pulling the contractors. Pulling the contractors after everything's already been pulled. Love to see that. I love just having to manually dot everything instead of just making the whole pull happen right at the start of the pull. That's super cool. I guess this is a lesson to any new tank players, is get your pull together, whatever it is you're planning to pull, as quickly as humanly possible, so that the DPS know exactly what they're going to be dealing with, so they can prepare accordingly. Anyway, I'm going to activate these bombs now as soon as I leave combat. Can we kill that? Thank you. Okay, this person's already doing it, which is the healer. Where the heck is the healer going? He's gonna land on top of the divers. Okay, we didn't pull the divers. That's good. I'm short. I can't get up there. There we go. All right, I'm gonna target the architect. He is that's a stupid idea. I didn't realize until now that while he's on the scaffolding, he barely takes any damage. There's gonna be a big pull up there. I really don't want to send all my cooldowns here, so I'm gonna keep it to just Void Torrent. I really don't want to send, not even Halo. I know we're probably gonna pull that group as well, otherwise we're gonna be low on percent. Yeah, he's moving over to pull that group. So let's focus on the scaffolding here for a second. I'm gonna do my best not to pull any of those crabs, which I don't know, man. I can't really see a way that I would pull those, because I'm standing all the way over here. But you would be surprised, my friends. You would be surprised as to what can happen when you really put your effort in. I've seen people pull shit that you wouldn't believe. We're focusing all our damage on the architect because he's the beefiest mob in here, and he randomly just puts up that scaffolding, which protects him from damage. So we got to switch over to the scaffolding when that does happen. Looks like we're not pulling any of the crabs. I'd love to see that. And now we can switch back to the architect, finish that off, and we're going to move on upstairs, which is what I've been saving my cooldowns for. That's why I'm only doing tank DPS on this pull. There we go. A good way to pull these two groups, by the way, is break the scaffolding, immediately drag into the next group, but we'll see how that works out. Alrighty then. Let's see. I'm going to start pulling for the tank here. Otherwise, we're going to wait 7.5 hours for us to actually start getting groups together. Flamethrower is going down, not in my direction. Okay. I'm ready now. I'm ready now. Group heal goes out. PI is going to go on the shaman. Maybe shouldn't have gone on the shaman. I'm going to use big defensive here. Halo into Void Torrent. Halo into Void Torrent. Wasting a Void Bolt there, but it's not a big deal. I stood in some shit there just to finish a cast. My bad. Another Shredation. I'm not risking it with this one. And now we got Mind Flay Insanities. Mind Flay Insanities for days. Let's send out another Shadow Crash. Mind Flay Insanity again. Just move out of that. Okay, this time around I was finally ready for a big pull. I forced the tank into a bigger pull than he probably expected to do. which honestly at this point I don't give a shit. He's underpulling a little bit for my taste. And not even underpulling, he's pulling kind of things I expect him to pull, but he's taking 2.5 hours to group anything, so I always waste half my cooldowns. A res is coming through. This group needs to get pulled because I think we're at the moment under count potentially. I don't know. We'll see by the end of it. 59.57%. If we pull all the divers and all the kelp, we're probably not going to be at the right percent to get through and finish everything, so we might have to run back after last boss. But we'll see what ends up happening here. I'm going to focus my my DPS on Bront, because that way I will be able to make sure Bront dies about at the same time as Quick Fuse. We only have range DPS, so I don't know how correct this assumption is, but I'm assuming we're going to have to. Okay, now I'm ready. I used the small defensive, probably should have used the bigger defensive there. Using my group heal, making sure that he doesn't charge me. Last charge goes out, gotta make sure I don't stand on top of it. There we go. Let's get our dots back up. Why is it showing me? This is idiotic. Hello? Why am I seeing why am I seeing Blood Plague on my dot list? What the heck is that about? I don't care about Blood Plague. Get out of here. Hey, let's Void Torrent this guy. I'm so confused by that. I shouldn't have Void Torrented before I sent my other cooldowns, but whatever. Dot is not on me. It's ready to be dispelled. I'm going to move out of the way. We seem to have managed to get a bunch of these. It's not on me. It's on the tank. I don't have to move. I'm just so focused on making sure that those thingy things actually land on the charges go in the correct directions, that I'm not even trying to do my best DPS here, but I'm still doing okay apparently. Okay, whatever. I could easily 2-target cleave here, so it's pretty good. I just have to keep dotting the other boss that isn't stacked up, and that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use my instant casts while I grab these. Those are not, never mind. One of them was, but the other one wasn't. Gonna dispel myself. There we go. Keep on DPSing. If he charges me, he's not charging me, he's charging the other guy. I kind of got slammed there, but I think the boss is dead here. Charges on me, I just don't care right now. Boss is almost dead. They're dead. I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, Monk's already doing that, and the Shaman's doing this with the gun, so we can actually just move on. Cool. But yeah, I baited the charge in the wrong direction there, but I didn't care because, oh, we're gonna pull these crabs. Are we gonna pull those crabs? We're not gonna pull those crabs. Okay, cool. You're gonna need those divers as well. I'm gonna wait for them to group up so I can Shadow Crash. There we go. Let's send Halo and Void Torrent. Just stay out of melee here, I think would be a good idea, because I don't want to have to deal with these landing on me. I'm also standing away from the rest of the group because, again, if those land on me, then I'm not putting them on top of other people's heads, which is nice. I'm going to Shadow Crash again here. Won't have it for the kelp, but I can manually dot the kelp. I thought of manually dotting and immediately started manually casting the dot. God dang it. Oh man. So I think I need warm-up runs in the future. This is embarrassing. I'm playing so poorly. All right, we're gonna go ahead and give ourselves a shield. Let the actual healing stick. Okay, we're pulling 3 kelp. Okay. Three kelp. That's fine. Okay, we're finally pulling the rest of it. Let's PI this person and use a group heal. I'm gonna use it here rather than the boss because I don't know, this was just so awkward, and I kind of want to send it while I have cooldowns because then I'm gonna actually do more healing with it. As you can see on the HPS, I'm doing 800k HPS, which is not negligible. I'm also spamming my keybinds while not actually having a target, so that's great too. We're just gonna give the tank some movement speed with a shield so we can go and put those bombs in. And I'm going to step all the way back. I'm going to try and stay stacked with the group, but what's really dangerous is standing on top of the boss there. Tank is the closest one, so he's the first one to get meleeed. He dropped a D&D just to make sure that happens. All right, my Void Form was paused for a while here, so I do have a bit of Void Form left for the start of this. I'm trying to stay stacked with my group. If I can stay stacked with my group, I can keep doing damage. Or I can move to the left with everyone, and that'll keep me safe from the frontal, as well as being yoinked into the thingy things with the stuffy stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and use my big cooldown here, my big defensive cooldown here, using Halo to try and help with some of that healing. Should have had the Devouring Plague up before I used that Mind Blast or whatever, but it's not a big deal. I have a Void Torrent coming up. I'm gonna cast it now while we're all grouped. Frontal's gonna come out soon. I'm gonna dispel myself while I'm moving because it's an instant cast. There we go. Use other instant casts while having to move. Shadow Crash again. I don't really need to, but I'm gonna send it anyway just for a bit of that. By that I mean Insanity. We should move a bit to the left now. All the dots, yeah, we're just gonna keep moving. I think that's the best call here. Mistweaver's having a bit of trouble here keeping us alive, but it looks like the big slam stuff is gone. By gone I mean it's over, so there's no more pulsing damage on top of the waves that we need to avoid. Okay, wait for the frontal, and then we're gonna send cooldowns here in just a second. All right, Devouring Plague. Let's send cooldowns. PI, I don't know, this person, whatever. Oh, God, I just need to start making macros before the run starts so that I can actually send my shit. I do have group heal available. I should probably use it now just to recover. Using it during the extra damage, like during the waves and whatnot, might be the right call here. I think the healer is targeted now. We're gonna have to move in the middle of our Void Torrent. That was a bad Void Torrent by yours truly, but I think I got a good chunk of it out. I'm not sure. Healer's moving off to the side a little bit. I don't like that. I don't think he realizes he's been bound to someone because of the shaman dying. We're standing over here. I'm gonna use both my defensives here, keep myself safe. I think we managed to do so. Beautiful. I think the boss is dead here now in a second. Yes, he is. And Dunzo. Very nice. Well healed by my friend Gadget. Can I call you my friend Gadget? I hope I can. All right, we want to all stack up over here. When Bubbles is pulled, he'll put the bubbles down in 3 seconds to 1. Now we can move over to here. Okay, tank wants us to move over there. We're gonna rocket jump, and then we send our Halo and our Void Torrent because we have time. And now I don't have a big defensive here, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my Fade because my Fade gives me 10% DR. I'm going to heal myself once. That's another 10% DR on top of that, and that should be okay. Now we move again. I guess we're moving over here this time around. We're just going to... Oh! Sorry. I'm so sorry. I just yoinked the shaman into a frontal like a douchebag. I was trying to get him to stack with us. Oh my goodness, that was so troll. What the hell? All right, let's send in our PI, get our instant casts out, get our Void Torrent out. We'll put a Devouring Plague up next, and then we're gonna drop the Void Bolt. Bash, whatever, Backwash is coming through. I don't feel like I need... Well, I can heal myself, I guess, never mind, it's already over. I should heal myself before the damage happens. The reason I'm talking about healing myself is because that way I can, whatchamacallits, reduce the damage being taken thanks to one of my talents, which gives you a 10% DR when you have when you flash heal yourself. I'm hopefully going to get dispelled here in just a moment. If not, I will MD myself. I'm not getting stunned because the healer is ignoring this. It's a negligible... Okay, we're pulling big boy over here. Not a huge fan of that. Let's look at the big boy. Let's use Fade again. Let's use group heal. And let's send the damage. Let's try and get some healing in because there's going to be some AoE pulsing damage and some bolts at the same time. We're going to put focus on that. Silence has been sent out. The spells are going out now, finally. I don't have to mass dispel one thing off of one person. Ooh, goodness, okay. I'm still seeing a Blood Plague on enemy nameplate. Why am I seeing this, Blizzard? Oh, that Blizzard, that's a nameplate add-on issue. Why am I blaming Blizzard for everything? What the heck? Anyway, decent-ish pull. Not too happy with my performance there. I got a little flustered because, again, we're chaining mobs into an existing pool, which is kind of shit for dot classes, to be honest, because then you have to set up your dots and everything else. All right, at least the tank is trying his best to get everything grouped here as quickly as possible. Now, a yoink back from the druid, an Ursol's Vortex here, would go crazy hard because our friend would be able to stop the inspectors from jumping, but it looks like they jumped to people that were nearby anyway, so that works out. I'm going to wait for my Void Eruption before I send my Void Torrent. I'm gonna fuck it, I've sent my... I just realized that I didn't already do whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna dispel myself mid cooldowns because I love doing that so much. And we're gonna try and blast whatever it is I'm blasting to smithereens. There we go. And now we have this group. I'm going to put focus on that one, interrupt it immediately. I have to manually dot at least one. Never mind. Shadow Crash. I got to move, so I may as well move until I get Shadow Crash. Ugh, not my best performance, man. Not my best performance, but that's what I keep saying every single video. I think what'll help is actually finally getting to sit down and just blast dungeons one after another. So far, I've only done like 1 or 2 dungeons per video, and that has not been enough for me to actually get comfortable with this class. So I'm really, really looking forward to doing some +6s on stream today, because then I actually get to play the class for a prolonged period of time, and I don't have to worry about commentating either, because I don't commentate as intensely during streams, and that is going to help me a lot. I don't know why I'm not shadow crashing here. Lord knows. I'm going to send my group heal cooldown here and try to get some healing out, because there's a lot of pulsing damage that comes out from these 2 bastards. I wait for the next swirlies, then Void Torrent, because otherwise I have to move in the middle of my Void Torrent, and I can't do that with this hero talent. I can't move during Void Torrent. That's unfortunate. We're doing some decent damage here. I'm going to have to dispel myself. I haven't been using MD because people have been dispelling themselves pretty effectively, so I only have to ever look for a dispel, like let's say on this Balance Druid that doesn't know that remove corruption will take care of that. Grab the skeleton core while I'm being forced to move, and that is it for the nasty ass trash in here. It looks like the monk ran in and started the RP here, so we can just get our pull started immediately, which is beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and use a defensive here, a small one for the AoEs. Should have waited for my Void Torrent. I really shouldn't have sent my Void Torrent there. That's so stupid. All right, well, I have all my cooldowns here. We're gonna give it to the Shaman this time, whatever. Send out the Void Bolts. Get that one stack of Mind Blast off, and we're gonna see if we can go wherever the tank doesn't need to go. I'm gonna use big defensive here while I'm being zapped just to keep myself extra safe. 10% DR from Fade is also gonna go in, and now the little sparks are gonna go off. I want to see where the sparks are. This one's right on top of me. I'm gonna jump over here and try to keep myself safe that way. That's really far away actually, but yeah, I'm just being line of sighted. Where's my spark? Where did my spark go? Whatever. Am I still being chased down by a spark? I couldn't see the red circle on anything, so oh my goodness. I tried to heal you, friend. The druid can CR you. The druid can CR you. Nobody's CRing my friend here. I'm gonna give him a CR. I don't know if that was me or the druid, but I think he wants to take it after the damage amp phase here, or the AoE damage phase here. I don't know if it was me or the druid. It was not me. It was the druid. Very good, because these things are expensive. I see I still have 10 of them, and I bought 10 of them. So yeah, anyway, moving on. I really wanted to make sure my friend doesn't have to sit on the floor or lay on the floor the entire time. It's a very interesting pattern on the floor, but floor inspection is not, and is no one's favorite hobby, so let's leave it at that. We're gonna jump over. No, we're not gonna rocket jump because it's on cooldown. God damn it, this was a boring fight for me because all I did was look at the shaman on the floor and try to get a CR on him, probably during my cooldowns as well, which was super stupid, but whatever. Oh, friend, you're running away from me. Whatever. We're gonna stand here. We're gonna take it. We're gonna use both our defensives because that's really the bigger damage thing that you need to worry about. We're gonna give ourselves a quick heal for that 10% DR, give our druid friend PI for the last little bit of damage we need to do here, and that is the dungeon done. We don't need to actually go back. Oh, I got the cloak. No, wait, this is a chest piece. That's a nice chest piece. It's a hero chest piece. I might even put a 3-star enchant on it with a bit of haste. I like that. That was a nice run. But yeah, see, you don't need to invite people that are ridiculously high gear. For 6s, all of this is high gear, but that's just kind of how easily people can get to this kind of gear. So there's that. But yeah, the only thing I didn't like about this run was that the tanks sometimes chained pulls, like that didn't make as much sense to me. Like if there's a few mobs that are really low and you can move on to the next pull, that makes sense to chain. It doesn't make sense to pull all the mobs together. Everyone starts blasting those mobs, and then you just move on to the next group in the middle of that when everyone's already dotted things up. So it was really annoying. It's probably annoying for a shaman friend. No, actually, he's elemental. I keep forgetting. When I see a shaman DPS now, I just assume that it is enhancement, but no, he probably doesn't care as much about the number of flame shocks up. The reason I think he would care about that is because of primal wave, yada yada yada. Anyway, both me and the druid probably had to keep dotting things up after the chain pull happened, and that is probably the single most frustrating thing to do as a dot class. So for tanks in the future, keep that in mind. Basically, you don't want to move trash that's at like 70% HP, and you want to get your pull together as quickly as possible. That's the one thing that I could complain about, and I probably complained about it a shit ton at the start of the dungeon, because commentary brain is very one track. DK, however, did kick a bunch of shit, which is really cool. Love seeing people that have a bunch of kicks. I tried to get a good few in there myself, but mostly I just ended up either somebody already interrupted it or I was busy blasting or whatever. But yeah, I feel like my DPS could have been higher because I spent a lot of time manually dotting things instead of blasting a prio target or whatever. But hey, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbled. So we have this new chest piece. Let's equip it first of all, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna slap on the Gob Thulu outfit, of course. And then we're going to summon the Shell Mount. And we're going to buy Chris Raid. There we go. Not Raid, but Rad. Crystalline Radiance. Expensive as hell, 3-star. But we can maybe tierify this chest piece. I think that's a good call. I don't want to do it until I can guarantee that I'm getting myself 4 set, because Lord knows, maybe I have to do it next week or something. But we're going to try and get ourselves, whatchamacallits. Try and get ourselves 4 set this week, because we still have 1 catalyst charge left, and we can gain another one by hitting 2k, which we might do on the Tuesday stream. We'll see. But today, for the Monday stream, we're gonna go ahead and try and clear everything on a 6. That's gonna be the goal, as well as just farm some trinket upgrades, because God, I hate Entropic Skeleton Core. I cannot begin to explain to you how much I hate this trinket. But my friends, that is pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, let me know what you liked about it in a comment down below. If you had fun, make sure you subscribe because there's more episodes coming. And if you want to see what happens between the episodes, you can check out the stream either on YouTube or Twitch. I've been hearing that YouTube has poor quality sometimes because of whatever reason, and I don't know how to fix it, so you may want to check out the Twitch stream. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.